What does the waterfront mean? I think that the waterfront is a beautiful regeneration of what had become a derelict area of Belfast. It's absolutely beautiful down here. I have both lived and now worked in Titanic Quarter, and I just see it as being a wonderful area of Belfast, and one that is just going to go from strength to strength.
Well, I mean, ever since I've been here about 9 years, but ever since the inception of the Belfast Giants and the RC Trust, it's been our home. Very important to us, and not only that, I personally lived in the Titanic, the Ark Apartments here for 3 years, and just the beautiful scenes around here, and obviously the rich history with the Titanic and everything that goes along with it here. An easy recruitment tool for us when we have the players living here in the Ark Apartments. All we have to do is show them a few pictures of the Maritime Belfast area here in the waterfront, and it's a pretty easy sell to those players.
I absolutely love coming down here. I was there the very first night at the gala dinner, and I have been totally fascinated by it ever since. I would have a lot of Australian visitors come and stay, and I'll bring them down. We'll go to the Titanic building, and then we'll go for a nice walk, and there's just so many things to see and do down here.
Maritime Belfast Trust do an incredible job of bringing our waterfront to life. They have really created a very vibrant space through telling stories and preserving the heritage that is here on site. And that has really been evidenced in the success of Titanic Belfast, given that we have attracted so many people across the globe to tell our story of Titanic. And it is such a great place to live, great sense of community that I wouldn't have thought that existed before I lived there. And I have to say there's a lot of people in the apartments down here own dogs, and we all went out at about 8:30 at night to walk our dogs. So it's a fabulous place, not just to live but also to work in as well.
Well, Belfast Harbour Police has served Belfast maritime communities for more than 170 years. This new edition of the Maritime Mile helps to bring the history and heritage of this important area of the city to life, providing education and enjoyment for all ages and generations to come. We at the Belfast Harbour Police look forward to welcoming visitors to the Maritime Mile and engaging with everyone who is helping to make our iconic waterfront a vibrant and rich asset for our city.
I suppose if I look back, my father worked down here as a red letter in the shipyard, and I would have had a lot of memories of coming down this way. And for a number of years the site was derelict, but now it's become a place where I would be down here most days in terms of cycling, in terms of walking, and certainly during lockdown I was here every day with a flask of coffee and a biscuit. But it's my source.
Belfast Waterfront is an integral part of the city. The work along the Belfast Maritime Mile, connecting all of the city's rich maritime assets, is absolutely super and gives everyone, both within the city and those that visit the city, a real opportunity to enjoy those in a connected way.
So for EastSide, the Belfast Waterfront and the Maritime Belfast Trust are very close to us because we are currently working on reimagining the Maritime Festival. In particular, over the last 3 weeks, we have been working on the slipways with an installation called The Disappearing Wall. And that has been a really great eye-opener into how the slipways and public space is really vitally important for Belfast. We've had over 15,000 visitors in the last 2 weeks to remove 12,000 blocks of a wall that has now disappeared. But what we've understood is that the slipways are this majestic setting right against the water that, even 10 years ago, we wouldn't have accessed because it was a centre for industry or it was a former industrial site. What the Maritime Belfast Trust has done is really open up the space for people to come to. So it's very exciting to be a part of this.
Well, the company's been situated in Queen's Island for 159 years, so we have a breadth of history throughout the area with the operation of the docks. Now the building dock and the Belfast dock, but previously the Thompson dock where Titanic was built, and a number of other docks around the place. Behind us there's Nomadic, where we were working a number of weeks ago, so we're still deeply involved in the docks in Belfast and the waterfront areas. We use a number of keys to tie up vessels and load out large projects that we're working on. So we're still very much involved in the harbour and everything that's going on in the waterfronts. It is an asset of the city, and it's something that needs to be secured, cleaned and valued, especially during lockdown. A lot of places we were locked out of. During March, April, a lot of people started to focus on their own physical health and mental health, and a lot of people, in order to do that, were taking walks up the Maritime Mile, right along the waterfront.
This location is what makes AC Marriott Belfast a special place to stay. Our guests are able to wake up and look at this amazing view every morning and step out onto the Maritime Mile. For me personally, I've worked in this area for over 15 years on both sides of the river. The harbour has shaped Belfast's past, and it's exciting to see how it's going to shape our future.
The Maritime Mile really encapsulates what was the largest and most successful shipyard in the world, bar none. And I saw on a census that my great uncle Sam was a shipyard designer. I investigated a little further, and to my amazement, I had 3 great uncles working in this office.
Well, I suppose the waterfront has about 400 years of history in it, and really what we're particularly focused on is those stories of the people who lived and worked here. It's amazing all the different sailors from here who travelled all around the world and brought back exotic things like monkeys and things. St Joseph's Church is an area of focus along the Maritime Mile, and really the iconic story about St Joseph's Church is that it's been here since the 1880s, and its spire was the first and last thing that sailors would see on their way coming into home. So when they left home, they would see the spire, and when they were coming across the horizon, they would see the spire, and they knew they were almost home.
I think in the past, we've maybe been slightly guilty of turning our backs on the water, on the waterways, and building facing inwards, whereas I think now facing towards the water is something we're starting to celebrate our natural assets, and that can only be a good thing. I can always remember coming back from holiday, say, and flying into the international airport and driving back over the M3 bridge and looking down the water and seeing the boats and Titanic Belfast, and it always gives you a great sense of being home.